Well, that should have been the end of the video. Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode. So I seem to say that a lot in my videos, but this wasn't a video I was planning on making. I was supposed to be going to the workshop to do some TIG welding, a nice little TIG welding video on Millie, but instead I'm here with the ST150. I tried to reverse out the driveway and all of a sudden I've got no clutch. Don't know what's happened to it. So let's have a look. So I've got the car up at work on the lift. I'm looking over the gearbox, trying to see if anything's flying out the gearbox, but it doesn't look like it. I can't see any major oil leaks from the gearbox itself until I get to that point there. So right in between the gearbox and the engine, you can see that it's been dripping oil here, which is while I was driving here, but you can also see here it's dripping oil. So there's something dripping from there. Now, a quick test tells me that that's brake fluid. So I think my slave cylinder, which is inside the gearbox there, has popped. So I have to get the gearbox out. Oh goody. Luckily enough on this car, it doesn't look like it's that bad of a job. I've just said that now, haven't I? Why did you say that? That's just going to make things worse. Anyway, it doesn't look like I have to drop the subframe. It looks like I can get the engine out. It looks like I can get the gearbox out without the engine. Drive shafts, engine mount there, or gearbox mount there. I know there's a gearbox mount at the top there as well. And the bolts around the bell housing, probably a starter motor as well. The hydraulic lines for the slave cylinder that are up there. So it doesn't look too bad, which is always a bad thing to say. But yeah, we'll soon find out. So I think I've got to get that out because I need to get at least a slave cylinder ordered on Monday. And we'll see how bad it is as to whether I need a clutch or not. But I need to get this gearbox out today to be able to find out if I need a clutch or not. Right, quick update then. Normally I would take the two bolts at the top. There's usually two, maybe three bolts at the top first, but one of them seemed to be a bit of a problem, so I ended up doing it from underneath. While I was down here, I got a bit carried away, so I've took the cover off of here, which is four really small bolts. They are kind of there and there. There's one there and one at the top there. It gets the cover off. Linkage cables, there's a little button on that one, so you press that in and it spreads the linkage out to get the linkage off. That one just pulls off with a rubber. These twist around to release them. So you twist that cover around there and that allows it to come out of its holder. That plate there. The starter motor, which is just there, that has also been removed. It's got two bolts that go in at the front there, and then there's one at the back just there. These are all 13 mils, by the way. So that gets me the starter motor. So that allows me for the starter motor to lift up and move backwards slightly. Disconnected the reverse light switch. And I've took out a few of the bell housing bolts. Not all of them. There's still 3, 4 maybe down here. What I did notice though was when I undid, I cracked all of these off. So they've all been cracked off loose, ready to be able to undo it. But as soon as I did that, it started to pour fluid out of there. So there was definitely quite a bit of fluid in that gearbox because it all poured out. Caught some of it on the floor and I caught some of it in the box there. So I'm going to go up the top now and do I think there's one left on the back side of the gearbox, a nut for the bell housing. Then I need to support the engine because I need to probably drain it of oil as well. Get the drive shafts out on both sides, the gearbox mount there, and there's a gearbox mount at the top, and that should be enough to get the gearbox out. So it's not that bad of a job so far. Yeah, we'll see how the rest of it goes. Right, a quick catch up. We've got the engine hoist set up on there, so that's holding the engine in place. Down under here, we've took the gearbox mount away. Drive shafts are out the gearbox. We've obviously emptied the gearbox of oil through the empty plug there. We've done that. As you can see, the gearbox is starting to separate as I've already loosened the bolts off. Drive shaft on that side is pulled out as well, ready to go. So I think and I hope that we just need to get the gearbox stand underneath the gearbox now, because the engine's already supported, and we should be able to take out the last 3 or 4 bolts underneath here and get this gearbox out. So that's the next job, I suppose. Right, so there is the gearbox down, and that is my slave cylinder, and judging by the amount of oil that's in here, something's definitely broken with that, but I don't know what yet. I can't see anything obviously falling apart on it. I am looking to make sure that there's no big holes in the gearbox or anything like that, but I can't see anything just yet. So I think it's time to remove that. It's only 2 bolts and we can get that out of the way. The clutch itself looks actually fairly dry, so I think it just popped and that's it. It doesn't look like it's covered the clutch in fluids, but we'll soon find out when we get it apart as to how much more damage there is on that, and if I need to replace the clutch or not. We'll start with the good news. Flywheel looks alright. Bad news is this side looks worn, probably be alright for a while, but that side is knackered. There's nothing left of it. So I need a new clutch plate, but it's an original one, it's a Luke. Right, I have to get one of them on order then on Monday, but sooner or later I'd have been pulling the clutch out anyway. So I've just been having a look at the slave cylinder, and I'm not sure whether I can get it on camera or not, but if I look in there to where that screwdriver point is, I'll try and get some light on there. It looks like, maybe even there, I'll try and point to it on the camera. There is what looks to be a seal that's popped out on there. If you can't see it on here, I'll try and put it on the screen as well. I'll try and get a decent photo with my phone and put it on the screen as well, but it looks like part of the seal's blown out of there, so that's probably what's happened to this. It's blown the seal out of there. Right, before we put anything back together again, I just thought I'd show you this. This is the gearbox mount. Well, it's a new gearbox mount, and I've already bought this. I bought it a while ago to fit, and I just never got around to it really. I thought I'll do it at some point, but it's not really desperate. But I've took the other one off. And look at the state of that. I'm not even quite sure how that was holding itself together. But that is absolutely destroyed. Look at the rust on it. Oh my God. How has that even stayed together that long? Well, at some point I would have probably lost my gearbox, but well, now I've got the chance to fit a new one. So we've gone with a Luke clutch kit and a Sachs slave cylinder. I've gone with a Luke kit because that's, well, basically original. But while I'm waiting for parts to arrive, I've also been busy back here. So I've repaired part of this wheel arch here. It had a bit of a bubble in the paintwork, so I've ground that down, primed it all up. I've also repaired a hole that was there as well. Round on the other side here, I've replaced a piece of panel that was just there. It was all rotted out and somebody had really badly fixed it. There was quite a lot of filler and it was about a centimetre thick. And when I started to cut away this piece of the wheel arch, I found that the inner arch was also damaged, so I ended up replacing it to about there, and the inner wheel arch as well. So that's all nicely done. So down here I found a hole, so we've replaced part of this panel, and as I cut that away I found that the inner part here was worn out. I also found that part of the wheel arch was done, so all that's been replaced and I just need to cap that off now, and then I can put the skirt back on again there. So been doing plenty of work. Up here on the door there was also a bad repair, so I've now cleared that up. And I also found a little bubble of paint just there as well. So I've now ground that down ready, and we're going to paint that. So what I'll end up probably doing is painting the top half of the door plus that quarter panel. The bottom half of the door has already been done, so I don't need to worry about that. But the rest of the panel will probably get painted. While we're on the subject of painting, I've also been powder coating. So here's some of the stuff that I've done. I've started off with the bracket for the battery tray, like that. Not perfect, but that's because it was so rusty. I've also done the cover for the gearbox. Again, the inside of it's really nice, but the outside of it isn't perfect, but that's because of the amount of rust that was on there. So they've all been done nicely, and the last little bit that I've done is this piece, which fits over the battery. So we're now going to fit that cover to the gearbox, and then we'll be able to put the gearbox back in the car. Now, while you see me here just scraping the old sealant off the back cover of the gearbox, I just thought I'd let you know that because I live up in the northern Sweden, I mean, I know I could get hold of a cork gasket for this gearbox. The problem is getting hold of one in northern Sweden. It's a beautiful place to live, but it's right up at the top of Sweden, so things take a long time to get here. So by the time I found out that I wanted to replace that, and trying to get hold of that cork gasket was going to take me at least another few days to do it. Which is why I didn't bother, and in the end, because it's not rusty anymore, it's nice and sealed, it should seal up nicely. So similar sort of problem it was with the clutch. I could have gone to my local motor factors and bought a clutch kit from there, but it would have cost me, just the clutch would have cost me about 5,000 crowns, whereas I bought it off of the internet from south of Sweden. It took 7 days to arrive, but it cost me 2,500 crowns instead, so half price. So sometimes I have to weigh up the price against how long it'll take to get here. I could have got the parts the next day, but it would have cost me twice as much to get it. So in that case, I'd rather wait for a week, and I'll get on with some other stuff like the body panels that I've had to do. So this is all nice and clean now, and we can start to wank the gearbox back in the car. Right, so we can start to fit the clutch back in now. So the old one's already taken away. Flywheel doesn't look too bad, so we're going to put the new one on. What we need now though is a centering tool for it, and I don't think I've got one. What I do have though is Alice's old gearbox, and the input shaft is exactly the same. So there we've got Alice's clutch, and there we've got the ST150's clutch. Slight difference, but they fit on the axle, so I can now use that input shaft as a centering tool. Right, that's that done. I've been for a quick test drive in it, and the clutch is really light. I was going to struggle to get used to that. It's really, really light, but it works. At least it goes forward and it goes backwards. So that's a good thing. I'll just give you a quick update on the bodywork that I've been doing while I've been at it. And I think that looks pretty good. On the other side, again, not bad. So the bodywork's done, the clutch is now done, and the car is, well, pretty much working. So now I can start doing things that are fun. So I want to get some coilovers fit to this, and I want to get some brakes changed because these ones are disgusting and knackered. So nice new set of brakes on there, and a set of coilovers on there. We'll lower it a little tiny bit. Gonna look great. So if you want to see more of that and you want to see the rest of the progress in the ST150, please press that like and subscribe button. Well, that should have been the end of the video, but it's not, as usual. So I've just climbed in the car to drive to Luleå to go and film the lorry show, and I've just pressed the clutch pedal. Something popped, and now I don't have a clutch again. So right down there is where the clutch pipe goes into the slave cylinder, and this little clip that I'm going to put on the screen, well, that's flown off somewhere, and it means I've got no clutch pedal. So I need to fix that. So there it is up there. I have managed to fix it with a bit of wire from a welder, just wrapped into there and twisted around just to make sure that doesn't pop off again. But if anybody knows what those clips are called or where to get them from, please let me know. So that's all from this video. If you like what you've seen in this video and you want to see more, please press that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye-bye.